All right, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh Juice, an indie game podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tommy Fresh, and joined as always, it is
Maddie Juice. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fresh Juice, the podcast with the juiciest freshness. That's us.
that is that is us. We got a great episode for you all this week. We are going to be talking about some games that came out, some news, some stuff that we're excited for Steam Next Fest, and some other stuff that we're just excited for the rest of the year, and kind of taking a look back on this year too, because it was a big year for indie games, I think. But
Yep.
before that, we do got to catch up. What's going on? How you been?
Yeah, been doing good, still on the paternity leave there, so the daddy duty, all that sort of stuff. It's been fun, she's been smiling more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a good time overall. Really haven't done like too much outside of just kind of being a homebody again. Unfortunately, I go back to work in like a week or so. So
Oh God.
that sucks. I don't know how that's gonna feel. Probably terrible. Um, but yeah, no, everything's going pretty well. Watching some football, playing some video games. I actually was able to carve out some time to make some videos too, trying to get back on the schedule there and try to at least do a video a week. So was able to kind of bank some stuff, and get ready to, put it out. So that was good. It made me feel good because kind of, you know, having a newborn around is like that's like the only thing you're doing. So like you kind of are like, all right, what can I do so I can feel like me again? Because like
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, all right, like yesterday, Maria was kind enough to just be like, hey, go make your videos, like come back down around dinner time. And I was like, all right. And so I went up, obviously I'm playing some games, but I'm doing it so I can make videos. So it's just good. It was good to get like a few hour break there and just kind of do what I like to do, which is healthy. So yeah, so that's kind of the highlight of the weekend for me. Real exciting stuff. Um, Also, I'm gonna just say this now. I didn't know when I should say this,
Say
but
it.
this is not for the podcast. It's just for my own channel. But
Mm-hmm.
I recently partnered with nodecraft.com.
What?
Basically, you can rent game servers from them. They have a bunch of survival games. You can rent servers for and have your own dedicated server. You can use the code Maddie Gorm for 30% off your order. So if anyone out there, I'm just sharing the word. If anyone out there is looking to get a game server, I've been using theirs for a bit. It's been working great. Um, Check it out, nodecraft.com. There it is. Boom. I
Very
just
cool.
signed
I
the
did.
contract today, so I'm like, I might as well
Woo!
mention it.
I did see you announce it on socials and stuff like that. Very cool. Very interesting. Let's say I didn't play survival games. Could I use that for anything else?
So yeah, they have a list of kind of games that they support. So it's not only survival games, there's like Gary's mod on there, like any game or most games, I should say, where you can, they have functionality to host your own server. A lot of them are going to be survival kind of games, Valheim, Icarus, Abiotic Factor. But there's some other games on their list. Like I think it says coming soon, like American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator.
Oh,
So those are not
yeah.
survival games, but you'll be able to host your own server on there, which is kind of cool. There's even like Counter Strike you could if you want to, things like that. But I think most of it. Oh, there's even actually there's Silk Song on there because I know it seems weird, but they allow you to host. It's a co-op mod for Silk Song, so you
Oh,
can
that's
host your
cool.
own server and then have your buddy join and you can do co-op in Silk Song because someone like developed a mod like a few days after the game was out,
Wow.
basically. So anyway, yeah, it's cool stuff. Not to hashtag sell out too much or anything like that. But I was like, hey, 30%, like that's not chump change. That's a
Yeah.
pretty solid deal. So there you go. Anyone out there that's looking for it, feel free to just message me on Discord if you forget what the code is or anything like that. And yeah, pretty cool stuff. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Pretty excited. It gets me motivated to make more content. So um,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Feeling nicey. Very nice.
feeling nicey. Yeah.
I don't really use a lot of servers, but I always tip them. I will say that. But hey, listen, that's awesome. Happy for you. You've been hitting the grindstone a little bit with the survival content, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, listen, I can't get into them so much, but I appreciate those who do because that's the beautiful thing about video games. There's a ton of different genres,
Yeah.
and listen, I get it. I was talking to our friend Matt the other day about survival games. He was trying to convince me to play some, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna play my card games over here. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't
my
worry.
weekend
He
was.
doesn't play anyway. He
Yeah,
talks
I
a
know.
big game. So
He
there
talks a
you
big
go.
game.
Yeah.
But my weekend was busy on Saturday. We had the home that we plan on buying inspected. That was, whatever. It was cool. And then I played in a Pro Quest down in Philadelphia for Flesh and Blood. Didn't go quite as I had hoped, but afterwards I got to play some games with some buds, which was pretty neat. We played the Flesh and Blood put out basically a board game version of Flesh and Blood. So we played that, and it was like a lot of fun. We had a good time, and yeah, it was pretty neat. Other than that, it's just been kind of really just busy with work and everything else. But I've also been playing a decent amount of video games the past week, more
Mm.
than normal, which is pretty cool. So, um, we'll talk about what we've been playing lately, but we do have news yet again.
Oh,
Fresh Juice Discord. It's in the show notes below. Please join it. It's a great way to interact with us, hang out with us, and bully us. I guess we could do that. That's cool, but maybe not. I don't know. Try it
yeah.
out. We'll
Yeah.
see.
We'll open a
But
bullying channel in there for anyone that needs to let out any steam, anything like that. We're here for you.
it's like the aggression chambers or whatever they call them, where you just break stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh,
The rage rooms, the
yeah,
aggression
yeah.
chambers. I love that. That sounds even cooler. I was like, what is that? An aggression chamber? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's good.
um, yeah, well, that's just like I don't, yeah, rage rooms or rage,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
that
rage
that makes
rooms.
more
That's,
sense.
I've heard them called rage rooms, but aggression chamber. I mean, first off, it's kind of sounds like you just go in there and you're just like you're not, yeah, I'm mad. But
Walk in there after my football team loses.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah. But there is some other actual news. First, big one: Vampire Survivors adding co-op.
Ooh, yeah. So this is I think a pretty highly requested thing. Since the launch of Vampire Survivors, we've seen other Survivors likes come out with that co-op feature, and I think that's been kind of like a flagship key feature of these games to kind of set them apart from Vampire Survivors. So now that online co-op is coming soon. Assuming it'll also be on mobile, which will be really exciting. I'm not 100% sure if it is, but you'll be able to play with three other friends, and yeah, it just sounds really cool. I don't know necessarily if it's something that I'm going to play a lot of. I'll probably try it out. I know that they have been testing it on like their beta branch as well, but yeah, I don't know. It just seems interesting. I'm sure there'll be some interesting synergies, things like that. And Vampire Survivors is one of those games where like I feel like I played like enough of it, and like I'll probably go back like every now and then to play, but like there are other survivors likes that like I go in and I kind of just like crave playing more, like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Recently reinstalled that one. Um yeah, so it's cool that they're adding this. I think in my opinion it's a little late to be adding this, but I know there's still like a core following for Vampire Survivors. It's, kind of viewed as like right the OG, I guess, in the survivor like space, even though I don't think technically it is. Um
Mhm.
but it's definitely one of the bigger original ones. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy they're adding it, but I also wonder how many people like truly care and will go back just for co-op. Um, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's cool to see. I don't know exactly what the plans are. Did they mention much about it, or is it just going to be on PC? Um, but like if it's available on like mobile, that'd be kind of fun to just like like you're sitting around, nothing to do or something like that, and you're like you texting your friends and you're like, hey, anybody want to like play some Vampire Survivors or something like that, right? So that would be neat. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, right? It's this is a very popular genre, and this is probably the most popular game. But yeah, it might be a little bit too late, but I don't know. I feel like people get pretty stoked for this kind of stuff. I mean, they really kind of stole the hearts of people with this game for whatever reason. I mean, I like it a lot too. So but it does have the a longevity to it that I
Hmm.
would not have guessed. So I think that they probably wouldn't be adding it if they felt like it wouldn't be worth it. So pretty neat. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably check it out at some point.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'll probably try it out. Just to kind of get an idea of, you know, what maybe has changed since the last time I played. I feel like that's more of like my interest of like
Mm-hmm.
what things are different here. But yeah, I don't know the co-op. I feel like in the other survivor like games we've played that have had co-op, none of them have really nailed like the synergy between us. It always kind of felt like we were just doing two separate things in a way. So I kind of wonder like if there's anything there. Like I would want it in my ideal kind of vision for a survivor like game with a co-op mode is that maybe there's like some sort of certain like upgrades or move sets you can only do with like your co-op friends around,
Mm-hmm.
something like that where like you don't even get to experience that in the solo version of the game. I don't know, just something like that because I kind of feel like I'm trying to remember was it like Entropy Survivors or Soulstone Survivors? Maybe a lot of them. The survivor name they had co-op in it. I just kind of felt like we were playing two like we were just kind of doing things solo and then kind of coming together when we needed to like defeat something. But in terms of like upgrades and like, how interesting your build could be, it just always felt a little bit separated. And I'd like to see that a little bit, more kind of cohesive with the other characters. But anyway, yeah, I think it's great they're adding it, but you know, it's it's been a while, right? People have been asking about this for a while, so we'll see
Yeah,
how it goes.
I liked it better when it was called Gauntlet Dark Legacy. All right, listen,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, why don't
that
they just
was
update it to be that? I mean, come on, people,
yeah. They
where
always had
is
the
that?
move where you pressed like well, on GameCube you press Z and
Mhm.
then like you did like the special move together with the person you were playing with. Oh man, that was
Exactly.
so cool.
That's like a great example of like what I would love, Like imagine
Mm-hmm.
I could pick your character up and like throw them into like a crowd of enemies and like you'd explode, like, or like when you landed there was like a big explosion. Something like that could be really cool. Um, and maybe there are survivor games out there that do that, but um honestly it's hard for me to like, not to keep talking about this, but like it's hard for me to get super excited for this update when I really want it in Mega Bonk, you know?
Mm.
Like I've just been enjoying Mega Bonk a lot and I think it would be very cool in that game as well. So, we'll see if they end up adding it to that in a few years, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Vampire Survivors and kind of how well the mode's received.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. And then also some funny kind of news, I guess. The game Pico Park Classic goes free accidentally. I guess the dev switched the price to free on accident and is now saying, well, I can't make it unfree because people are gonna be like, what the heck? So kind of funny. I think, this is a game that we played. Did we play Pico Park 2 together
Yeah, I believe we did or played the demo or I don't know, something like that. Yeah,
at
maybe
PAX?
yeah,
Yeah.
PAX, yeah. And it's fun. It's a fun little game, you know. Doesn't have like a ton
Mm-hmm.
of depth to it. It's kind of I've actually been hearing this term more often lately because there's just so many games like it, but friend slop. I don't know if you've heard of friend slop. It's
Like Peak and stuff like that.
Yes, exactly. So these games where like, you and your friends get together and go in an RV and I don't know, travel the
Mm.
country, but watch out, like these all there's so many games that are like that now. And I don't hate friend slop games. I just think it's a little bit of a harsh term. But there's definitely a lot more now, but I view Pico Park as kind of like an earlier one. That's just so simple yet so fun. But yeah, it's kind of funny with Classic Edition here. This is um, a note from the developer here. They said, I kept Classic Edition because it's Steam exclusive and supports 10 players. Since I'm doing it anyway, I'll update it with online support. I might charge a small fee for it. I recommend installing it while it's still free. So that update for online support was implemented in September, but they decided to leave it free for one last week before charging for the new and improved title. And then fast forward to October 5th, they realized they could no longer charge money for Pico Park Classic Edition because they made it free. And when it becomes free on Steam, it has to stay free. So they couldn't update it to be paid again. So yeah, it's just kind of funny there how that worked. And honestly, probably ended up selling more copies of Pico Park 2 because this
Mm-hmm.
is in the news now, right? You almost kind of wonder if like this was intentional in a way, but I'm sure it wasn't. Uh, but yeah, it's kind of funny how Steam works like that. But I know I went to Pico Park and I claimed it and added it to my library as soon as I saw the article because I was like, just in case Steam sees this and is like, oh, we'll fix that. We didn't realize that was a thing. But yeah, pretty interesting here for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I guess a little unfortunate, but I'm hoping that people just went out and bought Pico Park or Pico Park 2. So, you know, it's a strange thing. I feel like Steam, for being like the forefront of like all video games, really, like these days, like I feel like that maybe they should be a little bit more dev friendly in situations like this. Probably doesn't happen often, but yeah, I don't really know how that works, right? Like, how you put on discounts and stuff like that. What Steam thinks of that, and if there's like an ability to do it often and many times, but I'm
Yeah.
not really sure. So yeah, unfortunate, but also hopefully just made them more money with the later editions. So
Yeah.
um,
And
pretty crazy.
I guess like in the future, developers should just make your game a penny, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it free. And then you can revert it to whatever price that you want to. But yeah, definitely really interesting. Actually, I was listening to another podcast, and they were talking about kind of the year that Steam kind of came out, and the way that Valve was able to get it adopted by so many people. Because, like you mentioned, it's like the platform, right, for like PC games. Is that Half-Life 2, when that came out, since there was such demand for it, you had to have a Steam account in order to play it. So it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny now, like people like kind of, you know, wince at like, oh, I gotta sign in with my Xbox account. I gotta like sign in with
Yeah.
my PlayStation account and play this. It's like, well, Steam, and everyone like always relates it back to Steam. Oh, I wish it was on Steam. I wish it was on Steam. It's like, well, Steam did that first.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
just we're so ingrained in that now. But yeah, it is surprising they don't have like that ability to turn a free to play game back into a paid one. But um, yeah, hopefully this happens with any game you would love to see this happen with accidentally, Tom. What's on the top of your
Any
mind here?
game.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
ones that I like to want to play. The Thing remastered because it's a little too expensive for me to jump on it, but I do want to play it.
okay.
So if somehow the big company that probably owns the rights to that was like, oh, let's see what happens if we press this button. Uh, Oops. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's hope. Let's hope. You never know.
Yeah. But in other news, with price, Game Pass increased their price and everybody's freaking out. And I should have freaked out a little bit more and I need to cancel it. What is going on here?
Yeah, so this has been all over the news, and obviously it affects indie games as well. And honestly, it kind of feels like a long time coming. For a while, a lot of people said that Game Pass is the best deal in gaming. That was kind of the slogan that kind of I feel like the gaming community came up with for Game Pass. I saw that so many times, but now, unfortunately, they are raising the prices here. Game Pass Ultimate will be $29.99 a month, $30 a month for Game Pass Ultimate. And honestly, it's not really the worst part of it. So there are
Mm-hmm.
two other plans as well. There's Game Pass Essential and Game Pass Premium. Um, Game Pass Premium will be at $15 a month, and then Game Pass Essential is $10 a month. So this is replacing, it's just a different name essentially for the other plans that they had. But the issue is that those other plans, those cheaper ones, no longer include day one releases, which is honestly a big part of, I think, why people wanted to get Game Pass is because during those Xbox events, what did it say? Play it day one on Xbox Game Pass for like every single game. So it ended up building up to this like incredible value where like if there was a game coming out and you were like kind of on the fence, there were times where I was like, I'm gonna just subscribe to a month of Game Pass, try out the game, and if I don't like it, at least I only spent, $20 or $15 or $10, whatever it was. Um, and if I ended up liking it, I could also get a discount on that game. So I believe that's also something that they're removing is that I don't think you can still get a discount on the game. That I might be wrong about that one in particular, but the biggest thing for me is are the day one games going away and only being available in the $30 a month tier. As games get more expensive, this might seem like it becomes a better deal, but that is just like a sad reality, I think, where I still view games as $60. So for me, it's like, okay, if I buy a few $60 games a year,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to end up being cheaper or the same price of me just subscribing to Game Pass for the year, Game Pass Ultimate for the year. So in my mind, this is just something I'm not shocked by because obviously, they need to I think there was an article that Microsoft lost like $300 million on the latest Call of Duty because it's available on Game Pass. And obviously they paid like 70 billion for Activision and everything. So I think that right now this is not a good value and something that's
Mm-hmm.
just going to upset a lot of people as we've kind of seen. I think as games maybe get more expensive, like if games end up being like $100, $120, I mean, we have a lot of other issues with that, but this starts to become maybe a little bit of a better looking value. But I think that this is kind of the opposite direction of where people have been seeing Microsoft go the last few years, especially Xbox, where they've tried to be like game like we don't really care too much about hardware. We want to put Game Pass on everything. We want to do cloud gaming. Like we want to be a great value for you. So them changing like this core aspect of their business just puts like a bad taste in my mouth. Maybe in a few years I'll think differently of it if the price is still the same and maybe there's a lot more value in it, but for me, I I don't think I'll ever subscribe to Game Pass again
Mm-hmm.
unless this changes, which is crazy because it was always kind of in my back pocket, right? Of like, I could always subscribe to Game Pass for a month, for a day one release. Now I'm not going to fork over $30 just to like try a game out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks. But what are you thinking about this?
Well, so I had Game Pass, and every once in a while I'd use it. I'll tell you what, I just canceled it while you were talking. I was like,
And there we
this
go.
is a
All
good,
right, next story. That's
this is a good reminder. I was like, I did get the email saying that prices were going up, and luckily mine wasn't renewing until the 25th. So I was like, boom, I got it done. But yeah, uh, to me, it's just I I don't really like this kind of subscription plan. Like I'm
Mhm.
realizing, even like with some streaming services, like for like watching stuff, I don't love it because you're kind of forced into the mindset of like I have to get my value every month, which I think some people do. So if you know you're gonna get the value, do it right. For a long time, I had A list at AMC,
Yeah,
right, where
same.
you can go see a couple of movies a week for free. Actually, they even moved it to like you can see like a movie a day for free. And that, I mean, for what that was, you usually got your money's worth if you saw one movie a month. And, I kind of moved further away from uh, AMC, and all of a sudden I'm like, I've seen two movies this year. I'm losing money.
Yeah,
And with like Game Pass, I feel like the same thing, right? It's like, sure, if I'm using it all the time, but I wasn't, and you're kind of like locked into what they have. It's just like Netflix, right? Like all of a sudden you're looking at these lists of games and movies, and you're like, none of. I mean, it's either stuff I've seen or played, or it's something that I do not want to play or
yeah,
want to watch. And you're just like, what the heck? Why am I even paying for this, right? So how do we fix it? I think I don't want to just complain about it. I want to bring a fresh idea, a fresh juice idea to the table. So I'm thinking about a business, right? Right where it can be brick and mortar, but we can also do this digitally. You go to the business and you pay a very small fee to watch the movie or play the game, and you only have X amount of days to do it. And then at the end, you have to either return it or become no more access. Some people have called this renting. So, like a rental movie store. I don't know if anybody's ever tried this. It seems I think there's something there. You're like, oh man, it's like $3, on a Friday. I'll go pick up a movie that I want to watch, or I'll go pick up Ocarina of Time. I've been meaning to check it out. I haven't played it yet. And I just think that maybe if we went back to that, I think that's more of a real way to get value as a consumer and as a business, because as a business, you're forced to like carry the items that people are going to want to, we'll call it rent from you. So
yeah.
that's just an idea. I don't know. I think rental is a way better way to kind of we've strayed too far, right? I think people initially were like, why would we, why do we ever go to rental stores when we can just watch whatever we want on Netflix, right? I get that. I get that. The initial like novelty of it, you're like, wow, this is great. And like some of the rental stores got a little too greedy. Like Blockbuster would be like, you have 10 million late fees,
Yeah.
but we gotta go back. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
we're
I
going.
think it's like interesting because I feel like when you were renting things physically, like you felt in control. But
Mm-hmm.
when even like now with like you mentioned like the streaming services, even just getting like buying a digital game, I've seen people say like you're basically renting it because they can remove it at any point, like from your library. They can just stop supporting like the servers, whatever it is. So people are like, okay, like I've seen just people say, digital games is like just the equivalent of like renting, but it's all out of your control. So it's kind of interesting, like the physical aspect, it kind of made you feel like more in control because you're like, well, I have it in my hand, and if I wanna, like, keep it an extra week and pay late fees, like, I'm gonna just do that. It's not like Blockbuster would knock on your door and be like, "Well, it's time, like, we don't have the license for this anymore, we've gotta take it from you." So it's kinda yeah, even like Redbox, right? Where
Yeah.
you could get games and movies from that. Um, yeah, it's very interesting. It's a similar kind of thing like you're mentioning with like streaming is that I always hear people say now it's just turning into cable again. We got away from cable so that we
Hmm.
could go to streaming, and now there's all these streaming services, and we're gonna essentially just have a more expensive version of cable again. And I don't know. I mean, like, I still think that there isn't another subscription service out there for games that is bigger than Game Pass right now, but I think that there is now room for something to kind of like imagine Valve is like, all right, we're gonna do this on Steam and we're gonna start like a subscription for I don't know the Steam games that they own that they won't lose licenses to, something like that. I don't think they ever would. I don't know. It's a really tricky spot because like there is something I like about a subscription service
Yeah.
because you obviously get a lot for like a technically a little bit of money, but I just don't like when I have no control over what stays in that subscription service. Like how many games get removed from Game Pass? How many shows get removed from Netflix that you were like, oh, I was planning on watching that. I've kind of solved that with the TV show and the movie thing. I use Plex, but for games, that doesn't really exist. So yeah, I don't know. It's just shitty all around, I'll say, for this. But
Well,
um,
let's just
yeah.
say, I mean, like I want to pose this question to you, right? Okay,
Hmm.
let's say this system that I've talked about, like jokes aside, right? The rental store thing, right? A digital rental store,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, okay, what's a big game? Like, okay, there was a new Battlefield that just came out, right?
Yeah.
And you can be like, yeah, I want to rent Battlefield for the weekend for like $3.99 or something like that. And at the end of that trial, right, there's no late fees because it's digital. They'll say, "Hey, your trial's over, your rental's over. Here's the option to buy it. Right? Did you really enjoy it? Option to buy it. If not, you can rent it again." And like you could probably put on like a limit of how many times you can rent it, so like that people can't just like try to like get like spend less money to play the whole game, right? That's
Yeah.
not very fair, right? They should pay full price if they want to play it, front to back. But you know, does that is that something that it interests you as a gamer, as a consumer?
Um. So I it's tough. Like if it were, you know, at least like for me right now, I'm like, all right, if I rent this for the weekend, I need to make sure I have time to play it because I want to get
Mm-hmm.
my money's worth. But if I did have time to play it, I'm like, all right, I'm going to rent Battlefield for $4 for the weekend. Like, yeah, that sounds awesome because Battlefield is one of those games where I'm like, I'm probably not gonna buy it anyway. So like
Mm-hmm.
if my friends are gonna be on that weekend, I'll be like, yeah, I'll rent it for the weekend. But I kind of think it's interesting that you brought up like almost like a trial in a way, because EA Play technically, and I guess you could have done this for Battlefield. They have a like a subscription that
Mm.
allows you to have like 10-hour trials of games.
Okay.
And then after that trial's done, you get like a discount on the game if you choose to buy it. So it's
Oh,
almost like
interesting.
I would almost like if Game Pass turned into that, where like it was, let's say they cut the price in half, $15 a month, and you could trial, you could have like a 10-hour trial, or, it would probably have to, um, if the game's only 5 hours long, like you have a
Yeah.
10-hour trial, but, it'd have to change based on the game. I would almost even like prefer that because like then it's like, all right, well, at least I get to try out the game, or maybe even make it cheaper than $15 a month. I don't know. It's a weird thing because I don't know, you know, how I would feel about like losing the game after the rental period.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I'd be like, oh, I gotta shell out. I mean, if it was $4, like I'm in, like, that's a great price,
yeah,
but it's not gonna be like if they were
yeah,
ever to do
yeah.
something like that. Um, so yeah, I don't
Ye-
know. I feel like there is an answer here, but I think Game Pass almost like bit off more than they could chew, and like
mhm.
these other services just aren't like big enough to even make like an impact. So that's why I'm like, maybe like there's another player out there that's like gonna show people how it should be done and make it actually like consumer friendly. But I don't know. It's really tough. I mean, Microsoft is also, they're bringing in record profits, right?
Mhm.
Why are we raising the price of Game Pass and losing? I've seen so many people just say they're canceling it
Yeah,
outright. So I can't imagine that they're getting more people to sign up because of these changes that they try to spin in a positive way. People are going to look at the price at the end of the day, and they're going to make a decision off that.
it's tough because these subscription I think inherently these subscription based services are like arguably like anti-consumer in a lot of ways, right? We've already talked about that a little bit, but like a lot of the value that these companies get out of it, right, is solely it's like a gym, like a gym membership.
Hmm.
They want people not to show up and still pay, right? So like
Yeah,
like who cares? Like once you sign that thing, there's like, okay, we want people to not use our service
yeah,
and pay for it because it's less. So we got to shell out less maintenance, yada yada yada. So like I to me, these membership slash subscription based services are operating on the hope that the consumer, us, doesn't use it to its full potential,
yeah,
right? So that's what, good riddance to bad rubbish, I say with this Game Pass nonsense.
yeah. No, I agree. I mean, maybe they'll change their mind in the future, but I feel like it's really hard to raise a price of something and then lower it these
Mm-hmm.
days.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
They're gonna have to add value to the membership, right? To like
yeah,
make it feel like it's worth the $30, or they're just gonna, like you said earlier, gonna wait out the economy to the point where it's gonna seem like a good price,
yeah,
and whatever. But one other thing about that kind of thing, and I think that sometimes when games and media is just accessible all the time through subscriptions and stuff like that, I, I think there's less pressure on the devs to create a stellar experience, right? You know, we we're lucky. We talk about a lot of indie games. The pressure is on them all the time, right?
hmm,
But these large AAA games, right? If they're like, yeah, well, it's going to be free for people on Game Pass first week or whatever, or first month, or it's going to be on Game Pass, like, well, you know what? We're getting our bag. So,
hmm,
the product that we put out is the product that we're putting out. Maybe we don't need to. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these people want to put out a great product, but you know, I feel like sometimes
yeah.
they will skimp
The guys in
on some
suits, they'll
things.
be like, yeah, we don't need
Yeah.
that feature. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. They'll
we
be
don't need
like, oh,
crossplay. We're
yeah,
we're
yeah,
fine.
stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So, yeah, I don't know. That was a good discussion, I think.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's interesting for
so
sure.
call
Curious
in,
to
folks.
see. And they also just raised the price of Xboxes, which is obviously getting into like the tariff situation. So not a good few weeks for Microsoft um, with these decisions, but um, yeah, curious to know what the juice heads think as well, because this is I feel like Game Pass is a yeah, it's just a good discussion topic. How many of you out there are actually subbing to it and continuing to sub to it? I know Tommy just canceled his, so curious to know if anyone else
Live
did.
on air.
Live on air.
But cool, cool. Now, on to more positive stuff. We do have some notable releases this week. The first one being Ball X Pit or Ball Pit, uh, from Kenny Sun, published by Devolver. You know, Devolver tends to put their money where their mouth is when it comes to good stuff. I think we're going to review this one possibly. Another game that came out this past week is another game that we're going to be reviewing as well. But this game looks awesome. You know, more roguelite action. But it's Ball Breaker. I mean, this just seems like something I'm gonna love. I mean,
Brick Breaker.
Brick Breaker. sorry,
Yeah,
sorry, sorry.
that's all right. Go to your aggression chamber and play Ball Breaker.
I recorded Freshen Buds before this, and there's a card called Ball Breaker, so I'm still in Freshen Buds mode. But Brick Breaker, whatever. But this looks
works.
like a lot of fun, and also like you know a lot of that dopamine hit stuff that you get from like the survive like bullet hell stuff. This one I expect to be good, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they really kind of stick the landing on it. So, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, no, I think this looks pretty cool. I mean, I've always been like a Brick Breaker fan, and it kind of like, you know, gets into like that conversation I feel like we had a while ago when we were reviewing Balatro or even like some of the chess roguelites that we played, where we were like, all right, is this going to be a trend of taking these like classic games and like putting a new spin on them? And we've seen it more and more often. I can't tell you, I think today I saw three different slot machine roguelike games that aren't
Yeah.
Clover Pit. So I feel like this is like this trend that's happening, and now that Devolver's involved with it, I don't know, like I don't think like Balatro started the trend, maybe, but I don't know. I feel like people started thinking differently of like a developer started thinking differently of like, okay, let's take a look at a bunch of these classic games and how can we make these like better,
Mm-hmm.
more replayable. So I don't know. This one, I mean, it just seems like a lot of fun. It's got that Devolver kind of flavor to it, and yeah, it seems pretty cool. I will say the name for me is a little weird because I think of like a ball pit at like a kids
Yeah.
thing. So I figured it would be a game like that, almost like reminding me of like Ballionaire kind of.
Sure.
But so I'm not sure why they didn't go with like a more of like a brick breaker kind of name, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. It seems pretty cool to me. I'm definitely excited to try it out.
Now, what's a classic game you'd like to see get this treatment that
Oh
you don't
man,
think we've seen yet?
yeah. So what have we seen? We've seen obviously poker, Minesweeper, chess,
Blackjack,
blackjack,
solitaire,
solitaire, like slot machine.
slot
I
machine
guess
stuff.
obviously brick breaker. I would like maybe like that like triangle peg game. Some Yeah, it's a physical game. Or I mean, some of
Yeah.
them, I don't know what you would do with that. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like something else that could be cool. I don't really
I
know how to
think
play jacks, so
I'm trying to think of things that you would just play till and like try to get high scores, right? Like I think that's
yeah.
usually like I think Ski Free, if you remember that banger.
Ski free.
Ski Free that
Is
was
that like
on
skee ball?
MS. No, no, it was the skiing game where you go
Oh,
down,
oh, yes,
yeah,
yes.
and you try to avoid the Yeti. Um, there's potential there, right? Like you upgrade your skis, upgrade the ways that you like give yourself attacks to deal with the Yetis. I
Yeah.
think that would be like a lot of fun. Um, yeah, that's the one that really comes to mind for me.
Yeah, that obviously it makes me think of pinball as well. I'm sure there's a cool
Yeah,
pinball
there's
one out there. But even I think I mentioned this before. This isn't really like a classic game, but it's a game I played a lot of like as a kid. Line Rider.
oh yeah.
Dude, like a roguelike somehow line rider kind of game. Or even like imagine like this isn't a roguelike, but imagine Tetris like 99 style, but it's line rider. So you can like shoot stuff onto people's like,
Oh,
you can screw up what like they're doing with drawing. Oh, you can't use the pencil for, 30 seconds or something. I don't know, something like that. Could be cool. I played so much Line Rider
Me
back in the
too.
day,
Oh
so
my
that
god.
would be cool to get something like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good one. Loving this stuff. Next game that came out this week, Spindle, which is a little action game. Just came out today that we're recording. Cute little graphics. You got a what looks like some kind of Grim Reaper character, which is cool. With Spooky Month happening right now, it looks like pretty like um, quick like controls and I don't know, pretty action packed. Maybe a little Zelda y as well with some like puzzles and dungeons. I mean, this does look like something I would really enjoy, and I don't know. And like I feel like there's so many games. Just watching the trailer, right? There's so many games that like seems to have inspired this. Even like it felt like Celeste at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely with the art style. So yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah, I even get I get like a little pepper grinder vibes from like the art style a bit.
Mm.
And yeah, it's you're like playing as death, I guess. And it just seemed like a one of those games where like they're not trying, it doesn't seem like they're trying to like reinvent the wheel, right? They're just trying to make a good like action game, like a classic action adventure game. um and obviously, I mean, like fishing as death too, I mean, that just seems cool. But yeah, I don't know, it kind of caught my eye. And it seems like it would be a fun one to play like on the Switch or something like that.
Yeah, it looks like it was a Kickstarter too.
Oh, cool.
Just scrolling through Steam here, but yeah, people are loving it already. So, if this is something that, you're there's a demo as well, and it's on sale till the 27th for 16.99, which is, not terrible.
Yeah.
So, one review that they have as like is from Screen Hype. 8 out of 10. Death has never felt so alive. Oh wow, how about that? But yeah, pretty neat, pretty neat. Next is a game that we're reviewing next week. This is Absolem, which is a rogue light beat 'em up. What are beat 'em ups? Kind of like your Streets of Rage 4, which I believe Guard Crush or Dot Emu uh, brought to us,
Hmm.
which is according to like what I've been reading about, because I'm not really familiar with the beat 'em up category other than that they existed, especially in the arcade style. Definitely played Golden Axe and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and some of the Marvel ones, back in the past, but never really got back into the genre. So, Streets of Rage 4 is supposed to be one of the best ever made. So, there was a decent amount of hype around this. I've been playing it for the past week. I kind of got right in as soon as it launched, and listen, I'm still playing it. Early early impressions on this game. This could be my game of the year.
Oh
And
boy.
I, listen, I got to play some more, so my opinions could change between now and next week's review. But this is like I think the gold standard of like what I would probably call a triple I indie game. With a lot of what's going on, but yeah, I mean it's just so far so good with this game. But it captured me with the art style initially, and then I was like, okay, what does beat 'em up mean? Like, how is this gonna work? And I've been pleasantly surprised so far, and it looks like everybody else is really enjoying it as well.
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to play it yet, but I have watched some streams of it, especially like the day it came out, there was like a bunch of streamers that were playing it. Um so yeah, I'm curious to kind of give this a whirl. I'm also not like well versed in this genre at all. I think like the last beat 'em up I played was like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. It was like Shredder's Revenge, I think. So I'll have to see kind of what this one's like. Obviously, it's the art style's awesome. I'm really loving it. And then it's a roguelite, so that obviously interests me. Yeah, so I have to give it a whirl and see, but it does look really cool. Um, there's a lot going on with it. I'm curious to know like how, and this is probably something you already know, but like how strong does your character feel after like getting the different upgrades and things like that? Like, is it really exciting? Judging from what you've mentioned, I imagine it is. But yeah, I'm curious to kind of hop in and check it out.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a ton to talk about next week, and I'm chomping at the bit to talk about already. But I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna, it's a nice little teaser for next week's episode. But and then what else came out this week? Runeborn. This is a game I just
Runeborn.
bought. I watched Northern Lion play it, and I was like, "Well, this seems awesome. I'm gonna need to get this game." Came out in early access, right? Um,
Yep.
this is by iDream Interactive and published by Goblins, who are really kind of hitting their stride with these kind of uh, like tactical, like roguelike experiences. This is kind of not like Clover Pit, uh,
Hmm.
but still very very cool. Probably closer to Balatro than Clover Pit was. So, um, from what I could tell, I'm excited to play it. It seems neat. You're trying to combine runes to deal damage to enemies, and you can alter how many runes are in your slot machine thing, and it's just it's just a classic Balatro. Big number go up. Let's make our board do the most it can do. So I'm excited to play it. I downloaded it last night.
You know what we need? We need more time for games. I think that
Yeah.
the world should petition for longer days or an extra day a week. Let's do 8-day weeks because I need more time to play these kind of games because they're just the kind of game where you get into it, I imagine, and it's just addiction city,
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, I'll do another run. I'll do another run. There's too many of them now because this one looks really cool to me. And it seems like it's almost like simple enough where I'd be able to like understand it, but also just like really exciting and has like good replayability. So I might end up picking this up as well to try it out. But again, I gotta find the time. I gotta find the
Yeah.
time because there's just so many things I want to play. But yeah, on sale right now, 30% off, only $9, so not bad
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
why I grabbed it. I was
Yeah,
like, this is a great deal.
yeah.
So cool, cool, cool. That's everything that's been come out this past week. Steam Next Fest started today as of us recording. Anything you plan on trying out?
So I haven't looked through like all the games yet. But there was this game here, Skate Story, that I think we've talked about a little bit before. It just kind of seems like it has a sick art style. I don't know how the gameplay is going to be, how engaging it'll be, but it's a skateboarding game with like this crazy, like spacey, cosmic, like weird art style. That seems really cool. It's supposed to be coming out in December, but there is a demo available on um, for the Next Fest as well. Another game I have been playing, which technically came out a day before the Next Fest started, is a game called Everwind. I've actually
Oh
made
yeah.
a little bit of videos on it. This has been like a decently hyped game. Not my usual style of game. It is a like sandbox survival game, but it's kind of like in that Minecraft art style. So I've been playing a bit of this. It's published by the same people that published DayZ, and it's got some really cool features in it. You essentially are like on an airship that you can like build your entire base on, and then you can just explore this like huge like procedural generated world, go to different islands, fight different enemies, and kind of keep upgrading your ship and keep discovering things. It's just a demo, so it doesn't have like a lot of content in it right now, but you definitely see the potential there. And it's a really even though for being in that Minecraft style, like there's some really like beautiful moments. Like they've made the game like really nice to kind of look at in some areas. So I've been playing some Everwind, and then the only other one that I might try out or I just want to talk about is this game called The Last Caretaker. They actually have a demo out. It's supposed to come out in November, the full game. in early access. But this is another single player survival game where you essentially, this is actually one that, this is at PAX. I played this. I was invited to their hotel room, not in a weird way, but I got like a little private demo of it, which was cool. But I didn't know that they were going to have a Steam Next Fest demo, and I saw them announce it. So I just want to give it a little shout out. You play as like this robot that's essentially used to be like a caretaker of humans, and you're trying to kind of figure out this like puzzle, this story, this mystery of like where the humans went, and kind of find these embryos and shoot them back up to space and kind of keep life going on in the world. So it's kind of very you're very like isolated in this game. But the demo was cool that I played. I'm sure this one has more updates than the last time I played. But yeah, the last caretaker, I'll probably end up making some content on it on my YouTube as well. But those are the only three that come to mind that I've seen since it started today. But I'm sure there'll be some more that maybe we'll talk about next week that we end up playing. But what about you? Anything that you're going to be playing?
The demos that I downloaded, Skull Horde has an updated demo. It looks like so. I'm excited to hop back into that. That's a game I'm really excited for. By 8-Bit Studios, they did Board Blasters, which we really loved.
Yeah.
Um, Tears of Metal is a demo I downloaded. I remember seeing maybe it was from some kind of uh like showcase that kind of like showed like I don't know what it's like a hack and slash kind of game. It
Hmm.
looked cool, like the Scottish like Highlander kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how the demo is. Hold the Mine,
Hmm.
which is a game that I did a play test of. Hold the Mine was a really cool play test. I'm excited to see, how this demo is. The play test, had some like, rough patches to it, but they were looking for, people to kind of give some opinions, roguelite action, pretty neat kind of a like dual system of kind of gameplay where one person you're controlling one person who's digging down to like try to find like upgrades and stuff like that for the people that are defending your like mine shaft up at the top. So it's cool, and you got like waves and stuff like that. So I wonder how good the demo is. And then another game I have the demo for is a game that I've had on my wish list for a bit called Underboard, which I think is going to be a kind of like auto battler, turn based kind of thing. Just kind of seemed cool, tactical. It's like kind of like everything that I tend to like. So excited to hop into that demo as well. But I think the one I'm most excited to like play some of is Skull Horde, because Skull Horde
Hmm.
is a game that I already did play the original demo, and then I'm in their Discord and I just saw that they did a big update. This game is from the first demo is awesome. I'm excited to see how this game ends up being when you get to you know 1.0 or even early access. I'm not sure what the plan is with it, but
Yeah.
um, based on how good Board Blasters was and how good this demo is, I'm excited to continue to play it. But yeah, that's my Steam Fest plans, I guess.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I have Skull Horde like the demo already downloaded because you had mentioned it before. I still haven't tried it out, but I'll have to make an effort to try it out this week since they had some updates. But it does look like a really cool game
Yeah,
that
it's
I'd
it's
enjoy.
awesome. You'll love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, cool. And some games we've been playing. As far as what I've been playing, I played Absalom a lot this week. I downloaded and played Clover Pit. Really enjoy it actually, more than I thought I would. And it is like the perfect like not mindless but kind of mindless kind of game. Clover
Hmm.
Pit. And then I did hop back into Sworn for a couple runs now that it's out in 1.0,
Yeah.
and it's great. It's still a great game. So
Hell yeah.
excited to kind of continue to play that a little bit.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'll have to hop back into Sworn at some point. Yeah, now that they're in 1.0. As for me, I've just been playing some Icarus still. Everwind, as I mentioned, Megabonk as well. And then outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's been anything else. I do need to play Silk Song still, continue that, but taking a little break from it. I did re-download New World, which is like an MMO,
Wow.
because they've had some major updates and they've like released a lot of their um, DLCs or all of them for free. Uh, and there's been like a big surge in like players coming back, and apparently it's just a lot better than it was before. So a buddy of mine downloaded it, so I was like, all right, maybe I'll try it out. So I re-downloaded that, but haven't played it yet. But mostly just been honestly playing Icarus and Everwind as well. So on that survival game kick at the moment, but uh, I will get some Absalom involved as well.
Yes. We'll have to play together because it
Yep.
has supposedly some co-op. So, um, and then maybe we'll talk about best game per month next week,
Yeah.
as we get closer to the end of the year. But next week we are reviewing Absalom, which should be cool. We do have listener questions. First one coming from Capolo. Best comfort food for a rainy day.
We actually did this the other day. Get some bread bowls from Panera, and we had some tomato soup, which is good. So that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice little comfort meal. I also like chili as well. It's a good comfort food during a rainy day. Those are probably like my top two. What about
All
you?
right.
Yeah.
Um, Lady Fresh made chicken pot pie last night, and it was so good. Had some leftovers for lunch today. Golly, it was good. And it's rainy right now, so um, yeah,
Golly.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Golly. Speaking of Lady
Nice.
Fresh, R Carp asks Taylor Swift or Charlie XCX. Choose your fighter.
All right. So we talked a little bit about this before the show. I don't really know who Charlie XCX is. Tommy was trying to play me some songs of hers. I don't know them. I know some songs she's been featured in, and my wife is a Swiftie, so I've heard more of Taylor Swift. So I'm gonna just choose Taylor Swift, but I don't think there's a real winner here.
Well, yeah, not for us. Yeah, this household is a Taylor Swift hating household. Not even just me, everybody here. We we do not like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I think he's slop. It's garbage. And the reason this question was asked because on her newest album she like kind of was like digging at Charlie XCX or whatever. Who knows? She can't stand to see another woman win. Right?
Nope.
That's just the truth. Because Charlie XCX had the summer of a lifetime last summer with Brat the album. It was Brat summer, as they said. So I got to give it to Charlie
Oh,
by
is that what that
default.
meant?
Yep,
I kept
that's
seeing
what.
that and I just kept thinking of like the dolls, like brats. I was like, why
No,
is
no,
that coming up again?
no.
Oh, I didn't
Her
know that had to
album
do
was
with
called
music.
Brat.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I kept seeing that in
Uh,
like TikTok comments. I was like, what
mm-hmm.
the hell does that mean?
Yep.
I'm old.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, I probably wouldn't know much about it either if I didn't live with my wife. But yeah, got to give it to Charlie by default there. Next question comes from K Moore, who asks, "Any spooky games you'll play this October?"
Um, Not planning on it. I mean, I'm not really a spooky game kind of player. Um, I still need to continue the Dead Space remaster, which I play with some friends on my PS5. So, but now with the newborn, we probably won't get to that this year. Um, yeah, I'm not planning on playing any. I'm not a spooky game kind of person. I did see that there is a what is it, a Michael Myers game coming from the Friday the 13th
Hmm.
developer, I think, or I think it's from the same developer. Um so those kind of like asymmetrical, kind of like Dead by Daylight sort of games. I don't know when that Michael Myers game is supposed to be coming out, but Um, is it Michael Myers or Mike? No, it's Michael Myers because
Michael
Mike
Myers. Mike
Myers
Myers.
is Austin Powers, right? Okay.
Yes.
Um, got it. Okay. So maybe I'd play a game like that, but I don't think that's going to be out this October. I don't think so, at least, or this month, I should say. But what about you? Any spooky games on the radar?
I mean, I'll play Skull Horde. That's got a bunch of skeletons.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, nothing too crazy. If there's like, you know, some fun like updates to some games that I play that like are spooky themed, I'll probably hit it. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
play a lot of horror games typically, but yeah, I don't know. It should be yeah. I mean, Skull Horde. I
Yeah.
mean, it's skeletons, so
Yeah.
yeah. But next question comes from Bags. What is your Mount Rushmore of YouTube creators? Mount Rushmore.
My Mount Rushmore of YouTube creators. So I'm doing this based on me, right? Of like, I'm not thinking, okay, this is the Mount Rushmore for, YouTube in general. So
Yeah,
thinking back to, who I watched a lot of kind of growing up and, you know, I guess who's made the biggest impact. I used to watch Philip DeFranco all the time.
sure.
He's probably on that if I had to say. Honestly, I'm not like super I don't really watch a lot of YouTubers like nowadays. Like, I'm kind of watching like random videos that are recommended to me more than like I am like, oh, a new video from so and so came out.
Hmm.
I love Olin Rogers, even though it doesn't post a lot anymore on there. Probably one of the few creators I still watch decently consistently is like MKBHD, the tech YouTuber. I just love his videos. He's like explains things so well, and I just think there's a lot of great information in them. So those three for me, and then fourth one, uh, I mean, I'm not going to choose Mr. Beast because I don't really watch Mr. Beast, even though I look like Mr. Beast. As far as another YouTuber, lately I've been watching a lot, even though he doesn't make videos anymore. I've been watching a lot of the Outdoor Boys. Um,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like a lot of his videos. And I've showed them to Maria, and she really likes it. She'll be like, "Can we watch like the outdoor guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, we can." So we watch a lot of him. So I'm gonna just throw him up there as the fourth guy because fourth person. But honestly, maybe you'll trigger another memory of mine of maybe who I watched. Um, but what about you?
Yeah, this is tough, right? Like, I don't really go back and watch a lot of the ones that I first started watching, but I mean, to go back to some OGs, I would say Balloon Shop,
Yeah,
which Olin Rogers came from. I mean, still quote a lot of those videos to this day. Um, and then like Northern Lion, I'll if he's playing a game that looks interesting to me, I'll put it on, right,
yeah,
and I'll laugh. And then I'm gonna give a shout out to two creators I've been watching a lot since we started this podcast, who will play games that we typically play or games that we've kind of had on our radar. First is I want to make sure I get it right. Retromation, not Retromotion.
hmm,
Retromation plays a lot of the games that we like to play, and then also a smaller channel called Goat Force Gaming. Um, Kind of like more my vibe in terms of like a actual like let's play person. Kind of hops in and he's like, where we welcome to Go Force Gaming. We play all the roguelikes and roguelites.
yeah,
And he's just like pretty chill, and he just really I don't know. I like watching him play, and he plays all kinds. Like ones that I'm like, what are you like? This one does not look good. So I appreciate watching Goat Force Gaming. So you know, there's some flesh and blood creators that I like as well. But honestly, when it comes down to it, I got to give it to some gamers and Balloon Shop.
hell yeah,
But
yeah, good
hell yeah.
stuff.
And is that it for the? Oh, we got to go down to the rec room. Did you hear about that?
I did. I just heard breaking
Um,
news.
re- rec room is where we recommend something that perhaps isn't an indie game but could be. What are you recommending this week?
Yeah, so I'm recommending a season of a show that we finished called Peacemaker. It's on like HBO. You know, he's a like a DC comic character. I don't really watch a lot of those kind of shows anymore, but we really enjoyed season one of Peacemaker. And I don't even know, that was like 2 or 3 years ago, I think that came out. John Cena plays Peacemaker, and it just it's had some really funny moments in it, like laugh out loud, like ridiculous moments, specifically from like one of the characters who's like his I forget it. His name is Vigilante, I think.
Hmm.
And he's like, you know, in his crew or whatever, but he is like so ridiculous to the point where like, you know, this isn't really a big spoiler or anything, but like I won't mention it for anyone who's going to watch Peacemaker. I don't want to mention it because I guess it kind of can be. But we just finished the finale. I wasn't really crazy about the finale overall, but like I think the rest of the episodes were pretty good and interesting. Um, and yeah, it's just kind of a, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's got some of those kind of like stupid tropes of like a kind of superhero kind of show, but he's not really a superhero. He's kind of in that Deadpool vein. But it's, I don't know, it's just it's got like gore in it, and like it's just it can be so ridiculous at times. He's got like a Peacemaker's got a pet eagle named Eagly that like listens to him and like can hug people and stuff. It's like very weird. And there's another guy in the show this season that he's in a lot of stuff. He's in, I don't know if you remember like who he is. He's in Dewey Cox. I always think of him in Dewey Cox. You remember that movie? And he's the
Yeah.
guy in the bathroom and he's like, "You don't want no part of this shit, man." And it's like Dewey
Oh,
keeps opening the door. That guy, that
Tim
guy.
Meadows.
Yeah, Tim Meadows. Yes. I don't know why I blanked on his name, but he is a guy in this show. He has bird blindness. So whenever he sees a bird, he doesn't know what type of bird it is. So he keeps calling like an eagle a duck and like all these ridiculous things that just keep getting brought up. And it's pretty funny. Like it's a show where like you know, I don't recommend a lot of like I don't know, superhero shows anymore or anything these days, but like Peacemaker has been a pleasant watch. And John Cena does a fine job too. You know, he's John Cena, but it's really the side characters that make me laugh the most. So, uh, yeah, Peacemaker season two, which apparently is the series, like the end of the series. James
Mhm.
Gunn said that like that's all he planned, but maybe there could be more in the future. So, um, you know, we'll see. But yeah, I recommend it if you're looking for something fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's been recommended a lot. I mean, I liked his character in the Suicide Squad, which was the James Gunn. That's where Peacemaker originally was in, and then they made the show.
Yeah.
And he shows up in Superman too. But yeah, it looks good. It's something that is on the list. I have an album to recommend this week. Keep Calm or no, Keep Moving by Dead Calm, which is I just got the like kind of recommended to me on like TikTok, right? Like I get like a lot of Dennis Rodman edits on TikTok because I'm obsessed with
Oh,
how he played basketball,
yeah.
and so
I'll be getting
there
those
was
too.
yeah, and this album has a picture of. There's actually a song on this album called "We Love You, Dennis Rodman," and you know the album cover is a picture of Dennis Rodman, yada yada yada. But it's this genre that is probably like Midwest emo adjacent that I'm learning about called slowcore. So it's like instrumentally, it's very like folky, laid back guitar, like acoustic guitar riffs and stuff like that. But then kind of this like Midwest emo vocals and vocalization and lyrics. So
Hmm.
I'm not much of an emo kid, but I always kind of liked Midwest emo if I liked any of it. So
Yeah.
this was kind of it's just a great. I mean, they Dead Calm has two albums. Both of them I would just pop on. It's just like good, like fall music for sure, and just like kind of with a little bit of edge too. So yeah, really loving Keep Moving by Dead Calm.
Hell yeah, I'll have to check it out. It sounds up my
Something you'd
alley.
like. Yep, something
Yeah.
you'd definitely like.
Yeah,
So
so I'll have to check it out. And yeah, those Dennis Rodman edits, I mean, like I always get the one where he's like, I wish I was a better father. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I gotta move to the
Well,
next video. I'm getting all teared up here.
the one song "We Love You, Dennis Rodman" is from that like it starts out with him in that
Oh,
speech.
really? Okay.
and
Yeah.
and she's like, "We love you, man." She's like,
Yeah.
but so yeah, that's gonna do it for the show. Next week we got a great review for you coming up. You can find me on all platforms at Fresh Buds Pod. Find us this podcast at Fresh Juice Pod on all socials. And where can people find you?
Find me at Manny Gorm, GRM, on all the socials. Been posting more on YouTube and TikTok. And hopefully we'll do some streams in the near future. So stay tuned for that.
Stay fresh.